There we are, all four together. One down, one to go. A quick treat here for you now. We're going to peep up and have a look at the firebox. So the rest of the unit will be going to scrap. This is the Railway Mad YouTube channel where we are restoring one of these. A Battle of Britain class steam locomotive with Southern Locomotives Limited. In the last episode 002, you saw us remove the trailing truck support beam with a forklift. And then return to the trailing truck and attach a towing sling and pull it away from the locomotive's frames. Are you alright there, Mike? Good job. Perfect. Now then, what is this pin and what does it do? To find this out, we're going to throw ourselves underneath the loco. The loco's name is SIR FREDERICK PILE. The number is 34058. It's a Bulleid Light Pacific, a Battle of Britain class loco. The camera is facing forward there towards the centre drive axle. You can see the crank just above. As the camera pans round now, you can see the spring on the rear driving axle, the trailing axle. See where the spring rests there. And just about here is the pivot pin for the trailing truck. That is where the whole of the trailing truck pivots from. And we look forward there to the wheels of the trailing truck. Quite a bit of crusty rust there on the frames. Just pop our heads up in the frame there. Look around, nice red paint there put on by Andy and his friends from the Friends of Sir FREDERICK Pile. And we look up inside the firebox. The thermosiphons there. Look towards the rear. And you can see right there, if we stop the camera, as you can see there, the pin can only move a couple of inches each side. And the idea of that is to stop the wheel set from hitting the frames, as you'll be able to see in a moment. We now move the camera up to the side so we can see the top of the wheel set there. See the top of the wheel, and just slightly to the right of that is the frame. So there's only about 3 inches, and the loco has to negotiate curves without that wheel hitting the frame. So we're looking here now inside that very same pin that we were talking about. A quick treat here for you now. We're going to peep up and have a look at the firebox. You can see there is welded together. That's the fire hole there where the coal gets thrown in. It's not a bad bit of welding along there. And all the dots you can see there are not rivets. They're actually boiler stays. They're like long studs that connects the inner firebox to the outer firebox, allowing the water to circulate between the two. Just coming into shot there is one of the thermosiphons. Not quite sure what the little black splodges are here and there around, but we shall find out at one point. It's the rear tube plate. As you can see, all the tubes have been removed from this loco previously. It's one of these sliding mounts. We're about to take a look at one of the boiler stays that I've noticed that is not in particularly great condition. It looks like it's going to be a bit of a problem for us, so it looks like we may have to remove this one at some point when the boiler gets done. A little bit of separation there from the inner firebox. The pin has now been removed from the support beam and placed on our workbench, and as you can see there, we've got 4 fitted bolt heads there, but we actually got 8 protruding through the other side, which means we have 4 outer ones that are countersunk. These fitted bolts were cut off using our favourite tool, the angle grinder, and just a swift bang with a hammer to knock it off the beam. So now we're going to have to remove those bolts. That's where it came off of the beam. You can see the 8 holes there and the large centre. At each end of the beam are some brass rubbing plates. Remember that these plates are upside down now. The whole unit is upside down. You see that Alan's just ground the tops off there so he can locate the tops of the fixings there, so he can then drill them out. A small pilot hole is first drilled, and then that is followed up by a larger one, so he can just drill the tops of these fixings off. It's placed in just a base plate there so the mag drill can sit on top. Alan is not going to be drilling the whole of the fixing out because we're only just taking these pads off so we can save those for stock. So the rest of the unit will be going to scrap, as it's just too far gone to reuse. That's quite soft then, that metal.
That's just normal brass.
One down, one to go. The same thing was done with the other side. There we are, and that job is done. So now this beam will be consigned to the scrapyard. Alan with 1L assists here with Alan with 2Ls, trying to take out these fitted bolts from the plate. It needs heating up to expand it, and then just give it a good beating to get it out. But they haven't chosen the best drift for this job. I think it's about 3 foot long.
I need a shorter drift.
Alan here with 1L, our Battle of Britain veteran, is now just grinding off the burrs of the remaining fitted bolts so they can knock them through the plate a lot easier.
On the way. Yeah. It's about 8, isn't it? Yeah, roughly about there now.
With all of those bolts now safely removed, it is time for a clean-up. Work like this is carried out week in, week out by railway volunteers throughout the country. With their help and some kind donations, scenes like this can happen. There we are, all four together. Remember, it's every other Sunday now. Click here to watch our last episode, which was 002, and click here to subscribe to the channel.